Hello, 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 everybody. This is Grace with Grace on a Journey Channelings. Welcome to the newcomer, and to those of you returning, welcome back. You are loved, valued, and appreciated. Now, let's take some time for you to show yourself some love today and give yourself a hug and rest in that hug for a moment. Did you balance your chakras today? Now, it would benefit you to get connected with all that you are, mind, body, and soul. And this is why I take the time to remind you about balancing your chakras every day. So let's begin. Crown chakra. I know. I know I am worthy. Third eye chakra. I see. I see. I co-create my life. Throat chakra. I speak. I actively communicate my boundaries. Heart chakra. I love. I love to continue to count all the favors of God. Solar plexus chakra. I can. I am confident. I am not limited by the sky. I know I'm a star. Sacral chakra. I feel. I feel. I embrace. Genuine love. Root chakra. I have. I have a balanced life. See, when you do these exercises, it gives you an opportunity to do some introspection. We have time every day to get in everyone else's business, don't we? Don't we? Isn't that what we're doing when we are updating with others and socializing and being active members of the community? When is it time to give yourself time? Think about it. Now, the channeled song I received, it has some humor to me, but I know why I received that song in particular. Jumpman, 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 them boys up to something. Right? By Drake and Future. And I definitely know. Yeah, I know. And others that are connected know that it is wise to be alert, especially in these times, because them boys up to something, right? So I decided to go with the title, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. You know why? I feel it is time that we explore the possibilities of exploring a reality check. One of the many things that I will be discussing today is related to narcissistic personality disorder. This episode may be viewed as a wake-up call, and to some, a rude awakening. NPD is the belief see, that's disruption. And that is exactly one of the traits that those with NPD exhibit. Confirmation. As I was saying, NPD is the belief that you are superior to others. And you go through life devaluing everything that isn't you or that you don't agree with. I feel that narcissism is discussed a lot nowadays. So are the trendy words like toxic, detachment, codependency, emotional abuse. And I actually think it's a positive that we are talking about it, because through talking, we will bring healing. Although it is difficult for everyone that experiences it, but my belief is to not allow experiences that you encounter to be a roadblock in your life. I feel it is necessary that we keep going on. And one of the many ways to do that is to be truthful about it, open about it, and learn from it. Now, I'm not going to say that I've always had that opinion as far as being open and transparent to large numbers of the collective. However, especially when you are called to do so, God equips you with the skills you need to complete your assignment. And as I've shared before, I was told flat out that I would have to live my life out loud to complete the mission that He has set for me. This is why you will notice that regardless of opposition, of strategic disruption, regardless of attacks to your physical, your mental, and spiritual, if God elects you to fulfill a mission for Him, you will. You will. And that is something that it's time. It really is time that people make peace with that. It really is time that we can accept that We can't overpower God. We can't redirect God. We can't fight God. And those that are hard at learning, that continue to send disruptions in people's lives in order to get them off task, will also receive judgment. I feel that a lot of narcissists spend time trying to diminish the actions or the behaviors that they participate in, and gaslight you, make you feel that something is wrong with you, that you are confused, that if you would allow them to control you, then there would be no issues, that without them, you're nobody. Let me tell you something. That type of tactic can work on some people. But we are all witnessing it won't work with all people, because some people are born knowing that they are somebody and they matter and they will make a difference. Yes, those of us that were born and elected to fulfill a task came into this world with dreams and desires that would eventually run into opportunities related to what they are called to do. Although I've shared this very long ago, I don't think it was any recent episode, but I once shared this before, that I had a very big imagination since childhood. And I was fortunate to live with many members and many generations of my family. Due to that, those that were relatives that lived in the neighboring area would always come by with their children, my cousins. And one thing I cannot say is that I did not have fun growing up. I remember playing, laughing. We played school, sometimes church. But one of the things that we played that some people probably never played as a child, especially, is I remember sitting on the bed with my cousin, and we would pretend to be DJs on the radio. I mean, we even coined names for ourselves. I would have shared it, but I feel as if it's okay to keep some things just for you. And this is why when I share, I am using my discretion. I am aware that there are people that come to listen with various intentions. Funny, in the background, I'm hearing, I got enemies, got a lot of enemies. Drake again. And that was a reality check that I had when I discovered that I was surrounded by, to put it nicely, a mass of hypocrites, right? That's as nice as I can put it. But thanks be to God, I received grace. And that came with guidance. And God was always here with me. In fact, He hid me in plain sight. These people that were in my circle that felt they had a leg up because I was not aware that they didn't come in love. Today realized they never really knew who I was. And this is because they never took the time to get to know who I was. In fact, many of the stories that I share with you or the disclosures that I'm making are news to them as well. Because they came into my life with intention to bring destruction into my life. So this means you don't get too close, you don't get too personal, you don't make it for keeps, right? So when you comport yourself that way, you really don't know the individual that you are targeting. And I feel that is what we are all learning collectively, that just because someone likes peace and love, joy, does not mean that they cannot defend themselves, that they are afraid to stand in their truth. It does not mean because someone is reserved that you can succeed at not only backstabbing them, but repeatedly betraying them. This is why I always say that we are all in a school. Some are teachers, some are students. And then there are other seasons where you are the teachers, or you are the students. It goes through cycles. So those of you that have experienced trauma, attack, there's so many ways to define it. I mean, domestic abuse, domestic violence, fraud, theft, whatever it is, please allow yourself to absorb this truth that I'm about to share with you. You can overcome this too. In fact, this will pass too. Now, I don't know if you're called to share with masses the experiences that you've endured. But one thing for sure, it's never in vain. And if you ask, you will get a response as to what now. Now that I am aware that I was just being exploited, what now? And I guarantee you, those of you that are pure in heart and are genuine in spirit, that God will lead you, encourage you. People, God will nourish you. Although I'm not always jumping up to share this testimony, I can tell you that one of the most darkest days in my life was when I was awakened to the fact that someone I trusted with my life was a Judas. That type of experience caused me to talk to God. I told God I was disappointed. I told him I was angry. I told him I want justice. Not only for betraying me, but the intrusion into my life, the invasion of my home, the endangerment of my family, the theft that was made. And I told God, I'm done. I'm done trying. I'm done showing up for others. I'm done trying to be the better man. In fact, I'm tired. I'm tired of this journey. In fact, what is the purpose? What is my purpose? If no one can see me the way I can see them. Because when I look at those I encounter, I see you as God sees you. I respect the divine in you. And I felt, even with all my growth, all my effort, all my giving back, all of my maturity, and I was left with what? And I just, honestly, I just laid down. Blank. Numb. And then there was a little bit of hope that came from somewhere. And it gave me that energy that I needed to say, God, if you are here with me, I need you to show up for me. I said this weak in my voice, but it came from the depths of my soul. I said, God, I need to feel nurtured, because that is the only thing that will inspire me to believe that all is not dark. People, I don't need to swear to you because I don't swear to anyone. My yes is my yes and my no is my no. But I felt a hug, people. A real hug. And I was the only one in the room. And what was most interesting about that experience is being able to feel the sensation of being wrapped around in feathers. I did not see anything. I did not hear anything. But I felt something. What most would describe as a hug from an angel. Since then, I've had many other experiences with the angelic realm. And while being humble, I am confident in saying that I'm very close, very, very close in connections to the angelic realm and the spiritual world. I have to speak in my truth, people. I have to give credit where credit is due. It was the power of love, the power of being nurtured back to health, physical, mental, and spiritual. I had the opportunity to go on a journey and receive guidance, insight, in my truth training, awareness, boldness. Now, to be honest with you, one of the closest people to me, who I've mentioned before in previous episodes, had already made the commentary that I am bold. She was the first person to tell me that. And again, her giving me that insight caused me to learn that about myself. And it helped me to connect to my grandmother, because this is how she was described. Bold. Take it or leave it. Interestingly enough, I was born on her birthday. That speaks volumes regarding our connection. But it was my spiritual support team. I'm being led to say it. I feel as if this episode has taken a turn. But I feel that it is due time to have gratitude and to show gratitude, although I do in my private time. But in my public time, to express that I am never alone. And this is why I never get lonely. Never. Can you imagine that? Knowing that you are never alone. Do you know how strong that makes you feel? How assured that makes you feel? Do you know how much freedom that gives you? Knowing that your steps are guided. I've seen things that and have experienced things. Yes, I must speak my truth. I've seen things and have experienced things that I'm not ready to share and that you're not ready to hear. But they are very supernatural. And this is why, even though I live in this world, I am not of this world. I follow a different beat. A different drum. I've never in my life have felt more freedom than this season in my life. You know? And it's not because I'm not committed, because I am. But it's because God is the center of my life, my world. He is the center of who is even allowed confirmation to be a part of my world, right? Respecting my privacy I will give a brief insight in relation to my experiences in relationships today, whether they are family oriented or people I collaborate with, friends, immediate family, partner. Trust and believe that I have been given insight And everyone in my circle has been approved, right? With God's will for my life. In fact, it is because I am called with great purpose that I cannot connect even be familiar be acquainted with certain people due to their vibration and their karma. I cannot. I'm trying to share what I feel that would be of assistance in the misunderstandings that occasionally I'm experiencing. I'm going to repeat that there is no one in my life that can be in my life. Y'all don't even understand. Unless God approves it. And let me take it a little farther. He chooses it. This is why I am so covered, right? Because I have surrendered to His will for my life. Everything is sealed, guarded, overlooked, and assured to make its way when the time shows up. So when I hear, or when I feel, or when I know that there are those that are being critical in regards to me setting boundaries and not picking up phone calls and detaching myself, there is no choice. Let me repeat that because it went over your head. When you choose to walk with God and you surrender, right, to His will, to the extent I have, due to the calling I have, there is no choice to be made. Everything is provided. Everything is covered in grace. God is the one. Let me stress this truth right now. All right? Because some of y'all don't know the power of God. Okay? God is the one that oversees who can enter my life. If he does not approve because he sees you in your truth, there is no way that you can get to me. My well-being comes first. God's plan comes first. So whatever I need to see, he shows me. Daughter, this is why you need to be taking this direction. This is the person unmasked. This is how I see you. This is how the angels see you. This is how the spiritual world and your ancestors see you. In beauty, in strength, in high regard. In fact, you're celebrated. I want to help those of you who don't know to know. When God has his hand over your life, because he prepared you for a task, I can't live like you. I can't make the choices that you make. Because I get to live in freedom. In the freedom in knowing whoever God allows in my life, whoever God chooses for me, I might as well say chose, past tense. is who is there for me. In fact, a conversation I had with God let's put it all on the table, don't we? Won't we? Shouldn't we? And my ancestors. Is that collectively they realized that I was limited in the amount of guidance I needed when maneuvering in relationships and not seeing the red flags. Not seeing those who came to kill, steal, and destroy. They realized the pattern that occurred. And so, in love, they got me. I don't know if y'all understand what I mean. And if I were to be frank, I don't really care if you understand what I mean. I am being kind and open in sharing what I mean. I feel the attempts being made in regards to I need some get back. I need some revenge. Because I detached myself and chose myself. Because I want to maintain my truth, myself. All the plots, all the attempts, all the backhandedness has failed, is failing, and forever will fail. Because with my spiritual support team, 24/7. I do not have a blind spot. What I don't see, they see for me. In fact, even before I was as invested as I am, and committed to be for eternity, God was, He was looking out for me. He, along with my spiritual support team, disclosed what was hidden, what was being done behind my back. And what I love about God, He did it in a way where it came gradually. I remember earlier in my investigations regarding those who betrayed me, I remember having questions. But God, I asked you this last week, like, I'm still waiting on the answer. I know you know the answer. Why don't you just tell me the answer? And the response I would get is, in due time, in divine timing, because I give you what you can handle. I give you what you can process, what you can digest. So He took, or I should say, He watched me take baby steps until the spell was broken from that evil coven that was in the background all along. I wasn't aware that the Judas that I was once married to was in a secret society. I wasn't aware that he was making sacrifices. In fact, that he has made a career out of being a spiritual, I'm being nice, a spiritual hitman. In fact, he was paid to enter my life, invade my privacy, and disclose all informations he gathered to the evil witch with a limp, coven members, and the little whores for horror, harem. This was organized crime. And this is why, for the past couple of years, I have been requesting that those of you that have information in relation to Judas, especially. Judas very gone wrong, and his attachments to sexual exploitations. Those of you who have proof, snapshots, text messages, voicemails, statements. I have been encouraging you to anonymously, if you so choose, contact 1-800 call FBI. Because although I have been given revelation after revelation after revelation that everything is falling apart. In fact, God used me to take that evil coven down by exposing the sacrifices that were being made. The incestual relationships. Funny enough, as I'm disclosing this, notice my voice. The spell work, the attacks to my throat chakra, the attacks to my crown chakra, the attacks to my heart chakra, accompanied with attacks to my sacral chakra, my willpower, my ability to co-create. The attacks to my sacral chakra, in order for me to not be able to manifest the goals that God has set for me. Spell work in regards to fertility. As we know, it is all connected. And so, as they attempt to attack my chakras, their belief is that approach will create a blockage for me to not be able to produce especially in literature. That God is assisting me to do. can I speak my truth and say, this is why they're cursed? Not because their attempts are succeeding. Clearly, not that. But the battle that they are having with God. The attacking to my root chakra in attempts to make me lose my confidence and live in fear and anxiety. In fact, when the attacks are being made, as I've shared before, I'm always notified, right? Not because I have to make any efforts and go light a candle or go sing in a circle. Or say and repeat demonic mantras. No. Because I am favored. And so regardless if I request back to sender or not, it is an automatic. Let me be in my truth and say it is an automatic. I'm not going to say that I'm mad at that either. But yes, they receive automatic back to senders. And this is why their worlds are crumbling before them. Again, I have the hand of God over my life, over my family, my loved ones, my support, those who stand with me. Members of my team. Yeah, I have a team. Or should I say I'm part of a team. I'm covered, people. I would say don't waste your time. Those that come with ill will, but I'm not going to waste my energy in that direction. Because I sleep well at night. And I wake up with gratitude in the morning. Because I know I'm on God's side. Confirmation. This is God in my life. Always confirming. Yes. I know I am on the side of God. This is why whatever messages I'm receiving, whatever commentaries that need to be released, whatever comes out in my venting, in my teaching, in my sharing may seem daring to most of the population. How can she have all this confidence? How can she be so assured? How come she doesn't tremble? How come she doesn't live in fear? I can answer that question, even though I believe I already have answered it. People, let me humbly repeat myself in saying that I am very well protected. All right? Physical, mental, and spiritual. As I've shared with you before, I've seen the plans God has for me. Right? There are things I can disclose. There are things that haven't arrived in relation to divine timing for me to share, right? But those that continue to connect, so to speak, and willfully observe and appreciate my journey, will see that if God said it, He'll do it. Those of you that don't understand my joy, why haven't I lost my laugh or lost the ability to make jokes? Again, because I am well protected and all my needs are taken care of. Okay? That is the promise that God made to me. I just need to do what pleases me. And what pleases me is sharing with others and making a difference in their lives. Yeah. To do what pleases me. Connecting to those that come in love. to do what pleases me, sharing wisdom that I've gathered along the path that we like to call life. Now, if you recall, the topic is related to a reality check, a rude awakening to those that fall under the category of NPD. Narcissistic personality disorder. And those that have endured their abuse. Because God took me out of that hell. And I want to help others who are still in that hell to find your way out. Find your joy, your peace, and be surrendered by love. So these are some of the telltale signs in regarding to NPD, right? They lack empathy. They don't care how you feel. Like, if something hurts you, they don't care, right? It's just you being too sensitive. This confirmation, this is something that will not work with somebody who is caring, especially in my capacity of caring. It won't work. They appear to be confident, but have low self-esteem. And I have recognized this trait as well, because those that walk around with an agenda to put others down to make them feel better about themselves have low self-esteem. And this is something I witnessed constantly, day in, day out. There were things that I heard that I never heard before. as far as my flaws. I recall there was an incident where I was driving the Judas somewhere to whatever destination that he once again needed a ride for. I believe it was to the lawyer's office to begin procedures and give payment in relation to immigration. And on our way there, this man had the audacity, confirmation. This is why I know. This is why I know. This is why I know I'm not alone. Funny enough, the song I'm hearing in the background, "Nuh-uh, You Can't Tell Me Nothing," Kanye West. And this is because a lot of people have input and what they believe to be wisdom and judgment, and unless you've experienced it, nuh-uh, you can't tell me nothing. Unless you've experienced driving someone that you was trying to help to move forward in life and to disrespect me in attempts to make me feel some type of way regarding my complexion, he took his finger and he touched my neck, right? And every black person knows a black person with hyperpigmentation. This is not new. This is who we are. There are parts of our body that are darker and other parts of your body that are lighter. Now, everything that is covered tends to be lighter. At least that's what I see when I look in the mirror. And he touched my neck. And he pushed his finger, almost a rub, on the crease of my neck and I guess my shoulder. And he made the comment, I thought I could take that off. I thought that was a dirty spot. People, let me tell y'all something. There are comments that children make that you don't even respond to, right? And so this is the direction I took with his ignorance. That you would have the audacity to touch my beautiful skin and make such a racist remark. And make the observation that you thought I was dirty. You know, some people just, they never came across the word filter and tack and sanity. Can we go there? I'm sure some of you agree. Can we go there with sanity? Okay. Now, when I look in the mirror, I thank God for my complexion every day. Because I feel very confirmation. Because I've always felt, even since a child, I've always felt I had the luxury of feeling balanced, where I wasn't too light and I wasn't too dark. I was, in my eyes, I was just right. And I still am still in that state of mind that I am just right, right? Every feature, every strand of hair. In fact, due to his lack of intellect and direction in conversation, he would repeatedly make commentary about his grade of hair. How his hair was better, in his opinion. And the funny thing is that since I was a child, and still till present day, I've received compliments in relation to my hair. I also have a beautiful texture. This is why I enjoy my hair natural, right? Song in the background. I'm way up. I feel blessed. You get it? I'm way up. I feel blessed. And I do feel blessed in my skin, right? In fact, I'm way up. But yeah, I had to hear commentary in regards to my hair, that it wasn't as wavy as his, or whatever he yeah, I love that song in the background. That's why I'm cheating a little and listening to it. Yeah, I'm way up. I feel blessed, right? I didn't allow his foolishness to bring me down to the point where it would handicap me or make me live in sorrow or any of that foolishness. But in my truth, I did make note of it. I also made note of another incident when I said, how come when I say I love you, sometimes you don't respond? And sometimes you say, thank you. Out of everything you could say, right? And his response was, well, that's because I don't fall in love. Because listen to it. Falling. I don't fall in love. I grow in love. And I'm growing to love you. People, is there a woman out there that would be okay with someone who repeatedly said that he loved you before marriage, right? In fact, he was the one that proposed in a matter of months, not even a year, right? And then after marriage, tell you, I haven't fallen in love with you. I'm growing to love you. And I remembered the comment of, well, why did you lie to me before we got married? And his response was, and I said, why did you change? And his response was, well, people always act a certain way before they're married. And people say things to get their way and get married. People, let me tell you who I am. I conduct my life in accordance to my priorities, right? As I've shared before, I had a family before him, right? And trust and believe, he came before him, right? And I was not going to allow the attempts of the enemy to break my spirit and cause me to go into a depression and not be able to be there for my son. You understand? When you're a parent, a good parent, a loving parent, sometimes you struggle with not sacrificing yourself. In fact, it is the norm to sacrifice yourself for your child. So even in my disgust, right? Even in my confusion, can I be honest? My confusion. Even in my disappointment, confirmation. I kept on going. Because there were times we connected, and then there were times I connected to God, right? And those times I said, God, I know they say that divorces are not of God. But I want out of this. God, I want you to hear me. I want out of this. In fact, I said, show me the way out. Show me the way out of this. People. He showed me the way. Right? And this wasn't done through arguing. It wasn't done through, cursing, through threatening. Even though I would have been in my right. Understand, it would be easy as picking up a phone and calling immigration. Am I right? No, can somebody tell me, am I right? Wouldn't that be an option? Right? Or I could have said, get the you-know-what out of my house. Right? A house that you don't pay bills in. A house that you've never contributed a meal for. A house that had to afford tissue when you go to the bathroom. That house. When people say who they are, I prefer that. I want the truth. I don't want the lie. I don't want you to tell me you love me if you don't love me. I remember I used to have an issue with people telling me I love you. And this is when I was much younger. And the first, no, he was not the first. But someone from my past said, I love you. And because of experiences I had prior to him, and disappointments, I said, don't you ever tell me that again. This is how I allowed a disappointment that I experienced to affect me, right? To not be able to accept I love you. But that was in my early 20s. Well, if we're being accurate, that was in my mid-20s. Because people, my life is a book. That's all I can tell y'all right now. Because things I say will blow your mind. My life is a book. Seriously. My first boyfriend was at 25. Do you hear me? I said 25 years old. And let me tell you, I was very involved in the community. I was growing in my career. I was Sunday school teacher, youth leader, drummer. It's not as if I was just hiding somewhere under a rock. I was very active, right? But I've shared before that what I witnessed in relation to people that were committed to each other. So I was so broken. In my truth, I was broken. Yes, I was. That I could not accept I love you. Right? And I remember he said, you are the first woman that has ever said that. Like, I don't get you. I don't get you. I was the same girl that he proposed to at 6 months of knowing me. And I said, no, I'm not ready to get married. This will come later until after I finish school. And marriage only came up because he wanted me to move back to New York with him. And I said, no, we're not married. So it was brought to the table. And I said no. Like I've said many times after that. No. For whatever reason, I said no. And that ended. But getting back to someone saying that I'm growing to love you. and that they're your husband, child, that's a different kind of wake-up call. You understand? It's a different kind of wake-up call. Confirmation. But again, I've been through enough in my life that I can't be broken because I bend. You feel me? So even with insult or strategy to break me down, I didn't allow it to mess up what was most important in my life. And that was the work I was doing and how devoted I was to it. This is why later on I was awarded for my efforts, because I can be a workaholic. So this is where my passion went. My passion went to my work. And people, when I received the news that the child that we spoke of having is being dismissed until further notice, I told myself, you just love children. That's the root of it, right? And so this is how I began going to the schools, taking kids out of their class and reading to them. You see? Love is everywhere. You just have to be connected enough to recognize it. It comes in all different forms, from places you would have never even considered. And although the love I was shown there was, "Thank you, miss," or "I'm happy to see you," or "How's your son doing?" They were family to me, you know, because those that, well, let me be accurate. One of the main characters, I can't say those because, like I said, I'm not used to the kind of abuse that I endured from, I forgot his name now. Judas, Fairy Gone Wrong. So it was all brand new to it. I was just learning about it. It took me to YouTube to learn, like, what does it mean to be in the character of being so nasty? And this is how I came across to learning about narcissists and the need to detach And I received enough training from my research to gradually detach, right? And part of it was self-sacrifice again, because I told myself, he doesn't have a job, all right? He's impotent, all right? He gonna be on them streets. And you gonna feel guilty when he's on them streets. So ask God for a way out. You see, sometimes people stay in a relationship just for your benefit. But I was awakened to the fact that that's just BS. You know, it was due to my programming and, you know, how I was raised and being in the church and blah, 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 right? Forgive, turn the other's cheek and all this crap, right? Due to the abuse I endured by direction of Fairy Gone Wrong, Judas, Fairy Gone Wrong, and Morgue. Yeah, the Morgue. Morgan. It's caused me. God is so nice to me. It caused me to shed everything I needed to shed in relation to weakness. Right? So I regained my senses from my 20s. And I should say from my 30s. I'll be fair. I'll be fair because I'm not the type to accuse people of treating me wrong if they didn't treat me wrong. If a relationship didn't work, it didn't work. But it's not necessarily because it's my fault or your fault. Sometimes it just didn't work. And like I've said, I've never been abused to that extent. Never. Shoot. I had a best friend who happened to be male and who made the commentary that you're spoiled because I was in a relationship and pretty much I got my way. And not because I was manipulating him, but honestly, in that season, I was, maturing. Let's just say I was not who I am today. I would allow myself to just, this makes me laugh, to just wild out when I wanted to, right? And when I say wild out, I'm not talking about anything that is life-threatening. But yeah, we used to have situations where he had to teach me some things. Because, as I said before, when I was a kid, I always told myself that I'm not going to allow anyone to make me miserable, right? Because I've seen too much of it. So I was the type that would have no problem. I'm laughing because I remember a female friend of mine. She coined a word for me because that's not even a word, but she was like, "You're so mannish," because soon as you came in correct, I was like, bye. And that was it. Just like that. It was until my 30s, yo. Actually, I spent my 30th birthday with him, but it was until that time when I could, when I was schooled. At the time, he was my teacher. And every time I got annoyed or anything, I was ready to get out of the relationship. I'm just going to be real about it. I was ready to be like, okay, I guess this ain't going to be working. And, I'm out. And he sat me down and told me, listen, I don't care what you've been used to in the past. All right. This is me. Okay. And so I don't believe in this just letting go, whatever. You're going to grow up and you're not going to just walk away just because of something foolish. If there is a misunderstanding, we discuss it and we compromise or we fix it. Honestly, he taught me to not walk away with a zero tolerance policy. Yeah. Good memories, But he chose to go to the military, and I wasn't playing that. But the fact that some people believe that all women are weak and all women will accept your crap. It's so ignorant. It shows how inexperienced you are. And just because you see someone hanging around while you do your BS doesn't mean they're going to stick around. You feel me? I had a conversation with myself. I said, self, how are we going to gradually detach? In fact, it ain't going to be that difficult because your attachment right now is running errands and assisting financially, right? And if he had any truth in himself, he would notice the recline. He would notice when I said, no, I can't afford to give you this, or I don't have this, or no, I'm not going to pay your phone bill, or yeah, people, it was like that. Okay. So, and keep in mind, that spell work from behind. You feel me? This is why it was total mind manipulation, because like I said, yo, that's so not me. My child's father is very aware. That's so not me. I am not the type to allow, and he was not in any way, shape, or form, and ever will, because I know him, will never treat me in that respect. But he knew when I set a boundary, regardless of our connection, it is what it is. And this is because I am fair, I am understanding, I am willing to meet you halfway. I don't ask you for too much. You know, asking for respect is not asking for too much. Asking for you to contribute for yourself is not asking for too much. Asking to be respected, appreciated. Okay. How many women would stay in a marriage with all that I endured, and on top of that, I have yet to receive a birthday present, a Christmas present, a Valentine's Day present. Shoot, I have yet to receive flowers. You see? And this is why I continue to repeat that I had to find my way out of hell. Yo, y'all don't even know, man. Y'all don't know. Like, I'm not used to that breed. Okay? I am not used to that breed at all. And this is why sometimes I make reference to him and say, I don't care whatever bush you came from. But one thing I know, you're not going to bring that bull over here. You know, this is after I regained my senses, so to speak. So the fact that we were divorced and he continued attacking me by confirmation, by continuing his narcissistic behavior and telling blatant lies and making false accusations. Needs for excessive admiration. Admire what? What is there, or what was there, or whatever was there about you to admire? I'm still waiting. Okay. Zero zilch. So I could not fall under the category of giving you excessive admiration. Okay. The fact you had a sense of entitlement was a nuisance to me. Okay. The fact that you envied me, any achievement that I made or any gain that I've made, it's always like, brought sadness to you. Oh, you don't have to struggle like me. You don't have to, do what I do. You don't have to. And I always would respond, I can't be blamed for my birthplace, right? That I have no immigration issues. I can't be blamed of being born to the family that I come from. Now, I said that my family migrated to the States since the early 60s, people. So obviously, we had enough time to have a strong foundation and to push our children ahead. Not accepting any nonsense. And so I was tired of being I forget how they put it. Basically a bag that you beat on, in relation to your punch bag, right? In relation to your frustrations or whatever it is. Meanwhile, shoot, it's your hoe in the background that's doing spell work on you. That's keeping you blocked. So she can later on convince you that, oh, you need to leave that relationship because she's bad luck. You see, this is what I see for her. She's bad luck and she just wants you for your money. Meanwhile, you've never contributed, right? You know how you got me? Besides the spell work, I'll give you that. When we went out, you paid for it. You understand? And I thought you knew your role. But it appeared after marriage, you became my wife. When I signed marriage papers with a husband, like, nah, I'm not trying to be your husband. I love being feminine. Yes, I am strong, but I am very feminine. And those that know me know that. They joke about that. They know that. So I've never been accused of being, overly masculine and how should I put this? Controlling. And one reason is because I've never encountered funny, God. The song in the background is I Got Options. Faux show. But we happy right here where I'm at. But Yeah, I just think it is so funny that song came up. I got options, right? He just was unbelievable. I don't even know how else to break it down. Like I went to a different planet with that man. Like it's a book. It's definitely a book. This is why I was told I would write. And we're just tying some loose ends right now in relation to that. But I find it humorous to read these traits that they claim narcissists have, because I could like check each and every one of them. Interpersonal exploitive behavior, right? Grandiose sense of self-importance, preoccupation with fantasies, first week of being married. I'm trying to remember if it was being married or being engaged, but I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm just going to be a millionaire. And I'm thinking to myself, where are you going to get that money from? Like I always knew that I was going to build and do something for myself and be successful, right? But I kind of gradually, confirmation, move forward in my ambitions. And so, although I know I will make it big, I understand it is by way of baby steps. That is how you build a foundation. You don't do it fast because then it is weak. You take your time and you do your best and you concentrate on it. And you ask for guidance and so forth. But he was like, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. So those were signs, right? In relation to preoccupation with fantasies, because of the fact that they did divination work on me without my authority and looked into what God has planned for me. And so that's why he married me. Oh, she's going to do well for herself. Oh, she's going to experience this and that and this and that and this. Okay, this is a perfect opportunity to express exploitive behavior, right? And he also had a grandiose sense of self and importance, constantly putting groups down, like certain cultures, mine included. He never did that before marriage. That probably would have broken the spell. But, I mean, during marriage, it was always like anything in relation to Haiti had to get a beat down. Like, oh, Haitians this and Haitians that. And I've always been content in my own skin. Thanks to my father. I can credit him for that. He told me about my history, where I come from, and told me what blood I have in my veins, right? So I never walked around feeling less than or in doubt or what's the word? Inferior. Like, so when he began to take that route with me, it was friction, because I would always have to correct him and say, no, that's not a line you're going to cross, right? In fact, he went as far as attempting to, did I say attempting? I mean, he went as far as calling my mother the B word. Now, disregarding the blood in my veins, right? Being from New York, that's asking for war. All New Yorkers know. You don't talk about people's mamas, right? Regardless of your lack of understanding. Because, like I told him, I said, this is the first time you said it, right? And understand this is the last time that was the boundary set, wasn't it? The last time you say it. You know why? Because you would never tolerate me calling your mother the B word. In fact, that was brought to his mother. That audacity. And the fact that he lacked home training, where she had to correct him. Because he is a mama's boy. So if you want to get him to behave, you would let her know. In fact, she said in his presence that anytime that you have, any problem with him, you let me know and I'll get him straight. I mean, that's how she put it. Like, so I'm thinking this might be all right because she told me, in the beginning of marriage that she gonna take care of that. And sure enough, if there was an issue, there was a phone call. Respectfully. It's not like I'm going to waste your time and call you for everything, but, if there's an issue that needs to be addressed, it's addressed. And I give that to her too. She said that was inappropriate. Regardless of your back and forth, regardless of your misunderstandings, regardless of your friction, that was inappropriate. This is being taught to someone that's supposedly in his 40s, because honestly, I don't know. He lied about everything. Right? Lied about his name, lied about everything. And it's not as if I didn't have access to information, but I'm learning that information could be obtained through fraudulent activity, like birth certificates and stuff. You know, this is how I came across it. But yeah, he had issues with being disrespectful. And another trait of NPD is unable to apologize. No matter what he did, I don't say I'm sorry. I don't apologize because I would be lying because I meant what I did. For real. That was the comeback. That I don't apologize because, child, I ain't gonna repeat that insanity. But y'all get it, right? There hasn't been an I'm sorry since I've met him. Okay. Confirmation. There hasn't been, like I said, a gesture for a birthday, even a birthday card, God damn it. Even a Christmas card, even a Valentine's Day card, even from the dollar store, right? All that I was doing for him wasn't revered as love and wasn't appreciated. People, I came to a point when I realized he had mental illness, right? And I told him, I said, you know, you're not right. In fact, you need help. So, since you have an issue with getting treatment for your mental illness, I feel as if another approach or option could be when I go to work and I go do the support groups, or, you know, because I went to different sites, sometimes the hospitals, sometimes day centers, you know, sometimes schools and other places. So I said, since you follow me everywhere I go, and that was another sign of needing to control. Because if I went to work, his work was following me to work. Do you understand? So that means I would drive to work and then he would stay in the car. And to put the cherry on top, he would claim that he does not have internet. And so since I had a hotspot on my cell phone, I allowed him to use my cell phone while I went to work. You see, when I'm in a relationship, I don't have anything to hide. And this is why I don't care if you have the cell phone. I don't care who's going to call. I don't care who leaves a message. I don't care who leaves a text message. But he utilized it not just to watch videos or whatever, play games or whatever you could do with it, But he used it to gather information to send to the evil witch with the limp, the one who conspired with him to enter or a better way of stating it, to love bomb me and enter a fraudulent marriage. Right? So that's what he was doing. When I was going inside to work, that's what he was doing. And so later on, when I discovered that the evil witch with a limp told him, okay, that's a sign. 1 second. Yes, I love the message. But God, you are real. Yeah, when I found out she was spreading rumors around the community saying that I was having an affair, I was like, when? You feel me? When? He goes to work with me and waits for me in the parking lot every day. And even if I'm working at night, he goes with me and stays in the parking lot until I come out. There was nowhere I was that he wasn't there. If I went to the supermarket, he was there. If I went to church, I'd say 99% of the time he was there. Because I had to motivate him to even go to church. So when would the cheating happen, right? And this is why this is total BS when he is sharing with the community that, oh, he was lied to. She said he was cheating and blah, blah, blah. And so this is why I got upset. And this is why I did what I did, which is another trait. Let me tell you what the trait is. Well, I wrote it down somewhere. But it's in relation to, oh yeah, here it goes. They punish everyone around them. So song in the background is I Was Born Ready. I go 0 to 100 real quick. And that's exactly what happened with him. Like, it's like when I had the last straw, people, because it was gradually happening. You feel me? So when I hear things like people saying I'm having an affair, and then you're saying that I'm on drugs and I'm a streetwalker and I have abortions. Meanwhile, I've only had one pregnancy in my life, my gift. And you were saying things like that I was stealing your money. It was like so unreal. It was like a movie. Like, is this for real? Nah. Is this the quote unquote husband I was taking care of as a son? Is this what he did to me? Right? Sometimes you have so much anger, people. Confirmation. You have so much anger that you better go to God with it. Okay? So he can help you to utilize it and transmute it for something better for you. Because if you don't do that, you could find yourself on channel 7 or channel 10 or Lifetime on Snapped. But I wasn't about to go down that way. You feel me? I had too many people that loved me, regardless of your love. I had too many people saying, like, writing me letters and giving me cards. Miss, thank you so much for the support you gave me. I was homeless because my husband was beating me up, and you helped me to boost back my morale. And I want to tell you, I have a job now. I have a place to live now, and I owe it to you. Or men who have relocated from, up north to down south in effort to keep them out of trouble. They were gang related or whatever. And he very much appreciates me. You changed my life. You helped me to see things from a different perspective. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And he's for real. Like, I would have to set boundaries on how much he got me. You understand? So it's like, yeah, you can experience a lack of love in one area and receive love in several other areas. And that was my story. Like, the kids I wanted to be around, I got the opportunity to be around them and make a difference, right? Some of them, I was teaching them about how to regulate their emotions, from second grade, from kindergarten. And obviously it's at their level. There are times I use puppets, different props, made it fun. You understand? It gave me an opportunity to know basically my entire community, because I was at this location and that location and this location. And the fact that I had a period substitute teaching, it was a good opportunity to reconnect with faculty members that knew me before I had a son. And I had an opportunity of sharing pictures, and it was cool. So life is what you make it, people. You can allow it to break you down, or you can break it down as far as how you are going to respond to it, so to speak. Right? To succeed, yeah, I don't want to forget to say that part. To succeed at your quest, those of you that are realizing, oh my God, I am in a marriage with a narcissist or in a relationship with a narcissist. And if you and your God, I say your God because we all have a God of our own understanding. Although I believe my God is God. You feel me? But I respect everyone's religious views and spiritual views and whatever else that you relate yourself to. If it's not hurting me, if I'm not being affected, if those I love is not being affected, if God didn't push me in that direction, then guess what? That's none of my business, right? And this is why I get ahead, because I know how to mind my business. So before even getting to the point where I give you a tip on what to do on your way out, I would also, although I gave you enough inspiration and enough motivation, like from the story that I've shared, apparently today was meant to be a story time, you would know what approach to take. But one thing I didn't want to forget is, so when the head whore, evil witch with a limp, started the smear campaigns and defamations of character and everything, his intellect led him to believe, and his NPD, let's not forget that, led him to believe the way that I'm going to punish her for cheating on me is by getting someone else pregnant. Yo! Now, I know y'all say, well, some of y'all say, that is being harsh to ask him what bush he came from, but what person with intellect? People, let's be fair. Let's be real, okay? Let's be 100, 0 to 100, right? That would make what supposedly is a grown man in his late 40s to feel that you could get somebody back by getting someone pregnant. Is it me that's going to pay the child support? That's just a question. Because I bet you it ain't. Child, the support will be towards mine. You feel me? So you stole enough of my money to give to your whores, to buy drugs. And the funny part of all of this is I have been able to set the record straight just by telling the truth. Can you believe that? Like, I don't even have to, the truth is so ugly that I don't even have an opportunity to make confirmation, to make up something, because they crossed all the lines and they dotted all their I's. in attempt to take me down. This is why God is showing up for me in such power. And I love to say, when God shows up for me, child, he leaves a signature. Like, there's no way for you to say, nah, that wasn't God. There's no way. It's like you see his signature everywhere. Top to bottom, front and back. You know? All in red. That's where I get my confidence. That's who has my back. That's who gave me the visions of when he began his cheating fest. Meanwhile, he was utilizing my money to buy saw palmetto in order to manage his impotence. Yo, so I was affording him with the tricks to pick up tricks. You feel me? And shoot, when I learned about all of that, and you taking drugs, yo, and you drink alcohol, and you already know I don't play that. Like, there's not a man who's ever known me that does not know that if I know you're an alcoholic, we're done. You see, I'm not repeating any more generational curses. And so this is a promise I made to myself, that I will not allow alcohol to bring misery and destruction and death in my life. I'm breaking the cycle, right? Which I have. This is why you had to drink behind my back. You had to take your drugs behind my back. You had to go to prostitutes behind my back because you refused to be truthful with your desires in accordance to the escapades you want to participate in, which crosses the line for me. If I didn't participate in orgies before marriage, I guarantee it will not be the beginning of my journey in marriage. That's a thrill that I don't need. You feel me? I'm all about one-on-one, someone who loves me and I love him, someone who's sincere, someone who's 100, someone that don't play about me. Can I stress that part? Someone who got my back, somebody that wish somebody would, someone that... Yo! We good over here. You feel me? We good. No hard feelings. No issues. None of that. It was time for you to go make someone else miserable. And that's all good. Because I quit. I said I quit. Since 2019. But you refuse to process that. And think by hurting me, this is where your psychosis comes up. Think by hurting me that I will then fall in love with you. Okay. You might want to listen to this episode over and over and over, because I know that you are listening. That's all you do, is stalk me or send others to stalk me. This is why you made your bed and now you have to lay in it. See, when you went and you gathered people to come laugh at me because you was playing me, bars, and you was abusing me, and this was a success, you see, guess what? Those same people you said to follow me and be trolls and discourage me from uplifting the community and encouraging others and sharing my story, those are the same people that are being introduced to you without the mask. And the best part of this process is it's all 100. Like I said, y'all went so far, like I can't even add something on there. You feel me? That's how hard y'all went. You feel me? But I decided to not give up on myself. I decided to not give up on love. I decided to know that there are real men. I decided to know that there are men who provide. I decided to know there are men who love. There are men who are passionate. There are men who please. There are men who are not selfish. There are men who follow your rhythm. There are men who got you. Right? So, yes. This episode took the direction that it was meant to take, because as I've shared before, sometimes I think I'm going to go a certain direction and I don't. But the good thing about it is we got to cover the subject at hand, which was in relation to NPD, and we got to explore and identify with the title, which is Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Confirmation, y'all. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is this I see? Time to make an acquaintance with me. Because some of y'all in your 50s and don't know yourselves. True story. I am who I am in the eyes of God. Nothing more and nothing less. Peace.